I'd like to call to order the Enfield Inland Wetlands and Watercourse Agency meeting for October 15th, 7 p.m. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Fire evacuation or emergency. If there's an emergency or fire in the building, please, you could exit through the back door and away from the building, or the door to my left, down the stairs and out to the parking lot. If you come in that way, you can't get in because the door is locked. So, roll call, please.
Okay. Donna Corbin-Sabinsky.
Here.
Kevin Zorda.
Here.
Virginia Higley, here. Kelly Hemler.
Here.
Dylan Bridge. Here. Ann Collins.
She's on Zoom. No, she's on Zoom.
Oh, sorry. Ken Kaufman.
Here.
Chris Renaud.
Here.
And Robert Gillespie.
Here.
Okay.
27. Okay, public communications and petitions. Is there anybody in the audience that wants to speak on items not on the agenda? Did anybody want to speak on items not on the agenda? Seeing none. Correspondence. We have a new contact list. Thank you very much. We also received some emails about some upcoming Zoom seminars on planning and zoning from Mary Ann Turner. We forwarded that along. We also got something today and something from Mary Ann last week regarding the some meetings happening next week at the town hall. They're calling it the Thompsonville All Aboard Community Input Meeting. So if people want to attend that, it has the dates for us. And I think that's it. Yep. So next is minutes of preceding meetings, September 17th.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes for September 17th, 2024.
Second.
Motion by Kevin and Ginny. Any discussion?
Oh, I have.
Okay.
It's just a question. There's no error. I didn't find any errors. But under enforcement reports, George, you spoke about 6 of the 9 trees required plantings, of the required plantings were put in. And then she asked about whether we should want the 3 left over or forget about them. And I didn't see what we decided on. I was just curious. Does anybody remember?
I believe you mentioned that it was sufficient enough.
Yeah.
Right. I believe that's.
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, any more discussion, comments? Seeing none, roll call.
Donna Corbin-Sabinsky.
Yes.
Kevin Zorda.
Yes.
Virginia Higley, yes. Kelly Hemler.
Yes.
Dylan Bridge.
Yes.
Ann Collins.
Yes.
Ken Kaufman.
Yes.
Chris Renaud.
7 in favor, motion passes.
You forgot
Chris is an
Robert.
no, they're alternates.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. Town attorney report, September 25th. We received the report regarding items that are in litigation. No follow-ups for those. What else do we have? We have no continued public hearings, no new public hearings, no old business, new business. So IW 709-226 Brainerd Road, application for a wetlands permit to build a detached garage in the upland review area. William and Carolyn Herbert. Applicant owner, map 62, lot 18, R33 zone. Hi. Welcome, and could you state your name and addresses for the record, please?
Just make sure the red button is on. You can pull another chair up if you need to.
William Herbert, 226 Brainerd Road, Enfield, Connecticut.
Thank you.
Carolyn Herbert, 226 Brainerd Road, Enfield, Connecticut.
Hi, welcome.
Brian Deno from Deno Land Surveying, here to speak on behalf of the applicants.
Welcome. Want to give us a little rundown on what you have?
Sure. What we have is a residential lot on the east side of Brainerd Road, just south of George Washington. and they've lived here for 36 years, and they would like to
Wow.
put in a detached garage, 38 feet by 26 feet. But there are town delineated wetlands on the site, and it's shown on the map. It's from the town GIS. It encompasses the area of the walkout, the backyard, which is all mowed lawn. And we're proposing to put the new detached garage right behind the existing bituminous driveway. We're putting in some drainage to catch the runoff off the roof into some Coltech units in the yard with a T and a overflow drain to the surface, so if more water gets in there, it'll come up, percolate onto the ground, and follow the natural flow of the water. If you look at the plants, it all goes out the back onto the Connecticut Light and Power land behind it, and then to large wetlands behind the church. We're going to protect the site with silt fence around the construction area, construction entrance pad for when they bring in heavy equipment. If they bring in heavy equipment, they just may do it with a small machine. And we have a stockpile area surrounded with silt fence to prevent any runoff from going into the wetlands.
Perfect. Anybody have any questions or comments, concerns? To my left?
Yeah, I had just one question. It looks like your elevation's going from, 99 to 95, a 4-foot difference. Are you bringing in dirt, or are you going to have
We're going to
enough?
build the wall up,
You're going to build the wall up?
yes.
The backside?
In the back, there will be some exposed concrete.
Okay. Anybody else on my left? Okay. To my right? Anybody have any comments, questions? Kelly?
I just had one quick
Go ahead.
question. In the staff comments, it said that it could possibly block some of the existing sheet flow, and then you said that the runoff was being addressed, so is,
Yes, if you look at our plans, the runoff goes from the north towards the southeast, and we continue that same shape of the proposed contours. The solid contours are the proposed contours, and the dashed ones are the existing, so the water is still going in the same direction.
okay,
When that comment was made, there was no site plan.
okay.
They had just applied for a permit.
Okay, so it shouldn't affect the water table at all for your neighbors? Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Ann, did you have anything? No. Okay, thank you. Did you have anything, Kelly? No? Georgie, Steve?
So just to read through the memo really quickly, as they had stated before, this is a application for a wetlands permit to construct a detached garage in the upland review area behind the behind the driveway. They're proposing a 26 by 38 foot wood frame detached garage on a new cement foundation with footings. They will hire a contractor to excavate and pour the foundation, and then the garage will be built by I believe Carolyn and her husband themselves, 4 feet back from the driveway to line up with the rear of the house. And the driveway is to be extended to meet the garage. They plan to use the area southwest of the proposed garage to store the excess materials, and the stockpile is going to be surrounded by a silt fence to prevent the materials from sliding downgrade and into the wetlands to the below property. To control the stormwater runoff, they do have proposed minor grading to direct the water towards their catch basin. And they have a 4-inch PVC pipe that will also be installed to guide the stormwater from the roof to the Coltech recharger. And the garage itself is going to arrive in sections, which they plan on storing on the driveway until they have finished building the garage. So 226 Brainerd Road is a single-family home whose property is about 0.42 acres, and the wetlands, as they had stated earlier, are delineated from the town GIS. They cover roughly a little over 7,000 square feet, and they run through the center of the property. The erosion and sediment controls that they have, as they stated prior, the silt fencing is going to be around the back, around the construction area. And the seeding is going to be a mixture of the creeping red fescue, the Kentucky bluegrass, and perennial ryegrass to be planted between April 15th to June 15th, as stated in the seeding notes. Temporary seeding to be used if need be is a mixture of annual/perennial ryegrass, winter rye, oats, wheat, millet, sundress, buckwheat, and weeping loafgrass. The soils to be moved and stored within the stockpile will be respread underneath the topsoil when the rough and final grading is done. And as they had mentioned earlier, the comments from the engineering section, those were prior to them getting a full 24 by 36 site plan, so that has been addressed. And at the time that I had written this, I had no additional comments, but I just found something quickly that I wanted to clarify with the applicant. So with the prior specs of the garage you gave us, there was no gutters on it. Are you proposing to put gutters on it to help catch that stormwater and direct it towards the catch basin you have installed?
Yes.
Okay. And lastly, the track pad that was on the revised site plan. Can you explain the purpose of the location for it being next to the driveway as opposed to on the driveway?
In the past, when I've used them on the driveway, they plan on saving the driveway and keeping the driveway. If I put heavy equipment on there, it's going to destroy the driveway. It's easier to fix the lawn and remove that stone material from the lawn than the driveway. And in the past, that's my experience. You know, like if I had room, I'd go completely on the other side of the lot, but that doesn't happen here. So that's why I go beside the driveway instead of on the driveway, because if I'd go on the driveway, they're going to have to replace the whole driveway. And
Okay.
That's more expensive.
What about the curb?
I put a note on there that they put blocking in front of the curb
Okay.
to drive on top.
And then that extra space after the anti-track pad, that grassed area will be okay?
Yes, but they're gonna have to redo that lawn there anyway, when they
Okay.
do that.
So you're going to be using the soil that you get from excavation as backfill for grading?
I'm sorry.
You're going to be using the excavated soil for backfill?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. That is all comments that we have.
Okay.
Just one quick thing, just the garage is going to be used for auto storage?
We have 4 registered vehicles. And really what prompted this is we bought a Corvette, so we kind of want to keep it winterized.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Good idea. So I had a couple questions. The stormwater system you're going to put in, it mentioned something about maintenance. You're going to like do it
In the past,
annually, you know, do you have to clean it
in
out?
the past, I've not had to do maintenance because
Okay.
roof water is usually clean.
Okay. Well, there was something on the site plan, there was something about a maintenance plan, so I wasn't sure.
Standardized,
Yeah, okay, so you're good, okay, just checking on that. And the other thing on the permit, on the application, I mean, it says, is any of it within the watershed area? Is this a watershed area?
Technically, everything's in a watershed. It's a standard question. We probably don't even really need that question since every time it'll always be yes.
Okay, and it says an aquifer protection.
Yep, this does not impact aquifer protection.
Oh, because they said yes on both.
Right. A residential property can be located in the aquifer, but aquifer only regulates activities by businesses. Residential projects are exempt.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. We don't have to do anything else. Okay, I'm good.
All right, I will make a motion to approve IW number 709, 226 Brainerd Road, application for a wetlands permit to build a detached garage in the Upland Review area, Carolyn Hebert, applicant owner, map 62, lot 18, R33 zone.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Kelly, okay. Any discussion, further discussion, comments? Ian? Okay, roll call?
Donna Corbin Sabinski.
Yes.
Kevin Zorda.
Yes.
Virginia Higley, yes. Kelly Hemler.
Yes.
Dylan Bridge.
Yes.
Ann Collins. Yeah. Ken Kaufman.
Yes.
7 in favor, motion passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck with your project.
Thank you.
And you're I know it's under a cover.
It's a drive-by, check it out. Okay, ready? Next on the agenda is IW 710, 3 Palumba Drive, modification of a wetland permit for an addition within the Upland Review area on Enfield Collision. Thomas Adamczyk, applicant, Police Automotive Realty owner, map 57, lot 320, BR zone. Hi. Could you state your name and addresses or for the record, please?
Hi, I'm Tom Adamczyk, 151 Hannus Drive, West Springfield, Mass., and I'm the applicant.
Hi.
Hello, Ryan Nelson, R. Levesque Associates, registered soil scientist and the representative for the applicant tonight.
Hi, welcome, welcome. Could you give us a description?
Sure. So I believe this site previously had a permit issued. We're looking to amend that under this current proposal. The applicant's looking to construct an addition to an existing auto repair shop. This addition will be approximately 4,100 square feet. The addition will take place within an existing paved parking area. There'll be some additional site improvements located at the rear and adjacent to the buildings, landscaping, improved site drainage, and parking lot resurfacing. There is a wetland located at the far eastern extent of the site within the woods. The 100-foot upland review area extends into that eastern limit of the parking area. The building is in an upland location outside the review area. Really, the only work occurring within the regulated upland review area is the resurfacing of the parking lot, and they actually will be removing a segment of pavement from that zone and converting that to vegetated grass. So overall, it's a net reduction in impervious in the upland review area, and as well, there's some improved stormwater drainage to the site.
Thank you. Stephen?
Okay, there we go. So, as they had stated, that this is an application for a modification to their prior wetlands permit, which was Inland Wetlands 698, for an addition to the back of the Enfield collision. The new proposed addition is 4,147 square feet, as compared to the previously approved 1,150 square feet. So in their previous application, they had applied for a permit for a 50-foot by 23-foot addition with the associated parking and landscaping improvements. The addition was located in the back, as it is also in the current proposal, and it was still located within the upland review area. The application at the time also included installing an oil and water separator, landscaping and new green spaces, painting the parking spaces, realigning an island in the parking lot, and installing new signage for traffic patterns. The key difference, aside from the size of the new addition, is changing the location of the island, some minor tree clearing in the upland review area, and a delineation was performed of the wetlands on site by Ryan Nelson, who is here today with us. The previous application had two site-specific conditions, and they were that the final plans will show ENS controls and include a cover sheet with a table of contents, as well as the stockpiling will be removed from the final plans. Sorry, it's hard to talk tonight. Both conditions seem to already be addressed in the site plan for the modification and already contain ENS controls, and there is no stockpile on site. The property of 3 Palumba sits on the corner of Elm Street and Palumba Drive with 3 automotive businesses. The wetlands on the site cover roughly 1,048 square feet, as delineated by Ryan Nelson himself, and appears in the western corner of the property. The addition itself will sit outside of the upland review area. The buildings located on this parcel were built in either 1980 or 1999, and with the large impervious area pre-existing, the wetlands delineated on the Town of Enfield's GIS is inaccurate, as proven by Mr. Nelson himself and the USGS Soil Survey. So the site currently features an established stormwater management system, which includes multiple catch basins located at intermediate low points. These catch basins were interconnected by the municipal system on Palumba Drive through a subsurface piping work. There are no modifications to this system proposed. With the addition occurring within the existing pavement and the landscape island, stormwater runoff from the roof will be considered clean and not required additional treatment. The downspouts from the addition will be directly connected to the existing catch basins to effectively minimize the surface runoff. Plus, the removal of impervious area in the back may also further enhance the overall stormwater strategy for the site. The erosion sediment controls that they have proposed is silt fencing along the western side of the site, and the silt fencing will run along a new proposed tree line. Within the erosion sediment control notes, it's stated that the temporary seeding will be used as needed with winter rye, which is used typically for erosion control. Permanent seeding within the lawn areas will be seeded with a fine blade lawn grass seed within the recommended seeding window from April 15th to September 30th. Areas that are to be mulched will use 100% shredded bark mulch, and the plant types associated in the landscaping are a combination of plants found in either wetlands or non-wetlands. As the plants usually not found in wetlands, these plants are the Japanese tree lilac, the black tupelo, inkberry, and the PJM rhododendron. Thank you. It's the first time I had to read that one out loud. The trees that are planned for clearing will have their stumps excavated in order to loam and seed the depicted area in the back of the site plan. And during construction, an anti-track pad will be used for the construction entrances, which will be noted on their revised site plan. And while the current version of the notes state that straw bales will be installed and maintained, they're not planned to be used during construction, and that note of the straw bales will be removed from the site plan. They had considered two alternatives with this project. The first consideration was to remove all disturbances from the upland review area. And if they were to do this, they would lose roughly 6 parking spaces and a drive aisle. This is impractical, and the spaces would lose current functionality. A second consideration was to cancel the project altogether. If they were to do this, the amount of impervious space would remain as it is, and their proposal includes loaming, seeding, and adding vegetation into the upland review area. Canceling this would also remove the opportunity to improve the current conditions of the upland review area. And then I have sent out a bunch of comments to the applicant between when it came in and today, and these have been addressed as noted and read in my staff memo. One of them being when I had asked for the soil science report, they said that we would receive it on Tuesday, which we did. I pointed out that they were missing that their statement for all their notes did not state that it would meet or exceed the 2002 Connecticut guidelines for soil and erosion, and they stated that they will also include that on the revised site plans. I asked where they were going to put the stockpile for the chipping and topsoil materials, and they said that the revised site plan will show the stockpile for that materials. I asked what they plan on doing with the demolished materials, if they're going to be removed from the site every day, if they're going to be stockpiled on site. And they confirmed that the demolished materials will be removed every day. I also found that one of the trees that they were proposing to plant, Syringa reticulata, I hope I pronounced that right, it can be invasive. So I asked if they wouldn't mind using what was approved on the previous site plan of Japanese dogwood. And they said that they will revise the site plan accordingly. And then lastly, on the final page of all the lighting, I asked them to fix the overlapping letters as it was a little bit hard to read, which they said that they will fix that on the plan. And the illumination shown on that site plan is for only the proposed lighting that will be built on the addition. And then lastly, we just need a signature from CEK, who had created the light plan, which they will also add onto the site plan. All other comments from the staff have been addressed, being the traffic comment saying during the P&Z review, they should have one-way signage around the back of the building to indicate vehicles parking and which way the traffic flow is going to be, which they said that they will also implement that onto their plan revision. That being said, I have no other comments.
And engineering? Sorry, engineering's all set
Engineering was still under review when,
as of today?
yes, as of today, it's still in progress.
Sure it's gonna be all. Okay. Thank you.
689. We should fix that for the record real quick.
Yeah.
Really quickly, I would like to address an issue I had made. So the previous wetland was not 698, it was 689.
Oh, okay.
So just on the record, it was inland wetlands 689.
Okay.
Thank you.
I didn't catch that.
I mean, that's because you're going into existing system.
Yeah.
Actually, one more correction. My apologies. I just remembered I actually wrote on to stick it. So, to your comment about engineering, they actually did leave a comment this morning.
Oh, okay.
I'm unsure if the applicant had seen this yet. So, the town engineer did leave a comment that the grading may leave potential pooling in the northwest corner of the parking lot.
Yes, I did see that. I did review that before the meeting tonight. I'm not quite sure their thought process on that. The northwest corner of the parking lot will have a curb, and there is a grading, or sorry, a gutter line with a constant pitch to an existing catch basin. So it all should have positive drainage away from the building and from, the parking area to those existing catch basins. So there shouldn't be any low points that don't have a catch basin.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. To my right, anybody, comments, questions? Kelly?
I have a question, but I'm probably stealing it from Commissioner Higley. Is it okay? What about snow clearing stockpile? Where is that going to go?
Sure, I think there's ample room directly at the eastern end of the parking lot. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay. Would we require they put signs to make sure? Okay. Can you add that, just to put signs saying that that's where the,
Should be noted on the plan.
Okay, yep, we can add that.
okay, thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else to my right? Comments, questions, concerns?
I'm sorry, what was it that they were adding?
Stockpile, snow stockpile?
Signs.
Stockpiling.
Plans.
It would be a condition of approval.
Gotcha, okay, thank you.
Anybody to my left? Yeah.
I just wanted to say it was a great catch about the invasive species, and we thank you.
Well, thank you.
Anybody else? Ann, did you have anything?
No, I don't.
Okay.
So I'm just going to make comment on that part of it, being the plant guy. We don't like common names for this reason. Japanese dogwood, I'm assuming you're talking about Kusa dogwood. You're not going to want those on the side of that. They produce a large fruit, and it looks like there's an entranceway right there, so it could be a slip danger there. So I wouldn't do Kusa dogwood there. The Syringa reticulata is, a lot of things are considered native. It's not on the Connecticut invasive list that I saw. It would probably be a better choice, but there's other choices too. So just my comment on that.
Okay, yeah, we're flexible, whatever the commission.
Yeah, well, whatever your landscape architect suggests,
Okay.
they usually know. So, my only concern is the engineering thing. Can we move forward without it, or put in?
Yes, because this is also going to go before planning and zoning
So
as well.
they'll cover it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And from what the applicant.
Okay.
Yeah, and from what Mr. Nelson was saying, it does seem like it's an easily satisfied
Yeah.
comment.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Can we make that part of our,
We don't need to.
no, I mean the invasive plants, can we put that in part of the conditions so that,
So where it's located, it's in a bed against the building.
So it's not going to go too
It's
far.
not going to go anywhere. In either case, the Kusa is actually considered a invasive species as well because of the fruit. So it's more likely those fruit are going to get moved than the seeds from the Japanese lilac tree, which are most likely grafted anyways. So it's fine, really. Yeah.
But their past approval included Zumi crab apples instead.
Better.
Okay, so
Yep. Much better.
I think
Much
it'd be
easier to maintain
up
too.
to you to decide
Yep.
which planting you'd prefer to use then.
Anything else? Anybody else?
All right, I will make a motion to approve IW number 7103 Palumba Drive, modification of a wetlands permit, IW 689, for an addition within the upland review area on Enfield Collision. Thomas Adamczyk, applicant, Belize Automotive Realty owner, map 57, lot 320, BR zone, with the following site-specific condition that snow stockpiling areas will be noted on the final plan
And a sign.
and a sign installed noting that.
Yeah.
And then our standard conditions.
Did you want a condition about that additional substitute planting for the Japanese dogwood? Or no?
I don't.
Just
think
leave it up
that-
to the
yeah,
applicant?
Yeah, the
Okay.
applicant's fine, yeah.
Okay, so I have a first.
I'll second that.
I'm getting ready. Okay.
And I'm sitting back.
Any more discussion? Seeing none, roll call?
Donna Corbin Sabinski.
Yes.
Kevin Zorda.
Yes.
Virginia Higley, yes. Kelly Hemler.
Yes.
Dylan Bridge.
Yes.
Ann Collins. Ken Kaufman.
Yes.
7 in favor, motion passes. Thank you very much. Good luck with the project.
Thank you all. Have a good night.
Thank you, have a good night.
If it was a real invasive species, I'd be the first to
We
put
would
it.
catch it.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we'd catch it.
Yeah, you tell me you're putting in a burning bush,
I've been keeping an eye out for the pear trees.
pear trees, burning bush, barberry.
Yeah.
Yeah, pear trees are illegal in a lot of states now. Flowering pear trees. The white ones.
The stinky ones.
They're very invasive. Yeah, they're seeding all over because it's a very hard, small fruit, and they just go everywhere. Yeah.
Okay, next is enforcement reports.
I do not have any new enforcement reports to share.
Yep. Okay. Planning staff report.
Nothing much to report. We received the inquiries for Kakiwik, so you should have gotten information about attending the event. And like you mentioned in the beginning, Madam Chair, we are having our DPRAT meeting next week, the 21st and 22nd. We invite all of you and the public to attend if you can. So just real quick, it's not like we are making a brand new master plan. This is a collaboration with national level planners who will be meeting here in Enfield to discuss implementation for those plans. So that's kind of where the theme came along, all aboard Thompsonville because of the train station and making it more DOT and walkable. So that they are inviting everybody to come, give their 2 cents and what they'd like to see Thompsonville. They're going to have some interactive boards and whatnot. It's going to be really cool 2 days with them. These are planners that we look up to in the planning world. This reward is only granted to one municipality a year, and this year we are chosen. So we are very excited to have been selected for that grant, and we're looking forward to meeting all the planners and doing the workshops.
So are both 2 days the same, or?
They're going to be a little bit different. Yeah, you should go to both if you
Oh.
can. If not, that's fine. But they're going to be really cool, and there's going to be a lot of people present, and we hope to start making some changes for Thompsonville.
Okay, thank you.
Is there any concern with us being on the board and
No.
we shouldn't
Nope.
make
You guys,
anything, or-
the commissioners, all commissions have actually been identified as interested stakeholders, so it would be beneficial if you came.
Thank you.
Uh,
She sent an email. There are different
Yeah.
times. Some during the day. There are some evening ones.
I think it's starting really early at like 9, but I can't remember off the top of my head what time the public portion starts. But
I think
yeah,
it's
take a look at your
1:30.
email. There's a laid out.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a
I'm
laid
going.
out schedule in your email. No worries.
More to the year. Okay. Next, I guess, would be applications to be received. Now, we have is AAA 140 27 Booth Road, but from what I understand, it's going to ZBA and they're not complete and it could be changed, so we're not going to receive it today.
Well, it gets received by statute. This is the same thing about what happened of 10 Wheeler Drive, where he was also going before ZBA and he decided to go forward with wetlands anyways. We can't make them go to ZBA first before wetlands. We can only advise. They could always submit concurrently, in which case the applicant has asked for a continuance until they get their ZBA approvals, which, I mean, their ZBA application is pretty straightforward. Their setbacks overlap, so we are predicting that'll be smooth sailing for them, but their plan themselves won't change, just the setbacks.
Okay, because we don't have the application.
No, we were holding it because the site plan was incomplete yet. It was missing a zoning analysis table for your review, and it was missing a few notes. So we just held all items. That way they can give you the correct site plan to help you make a decision.
So we can accept it if it's not complete?
You can receive it.
Receive it.
Right now, they're basically tabled until November, was that first meeting?
November 5th.
November 5th?
Election day.
Yep, and then if they are not ready in time, they will be asking for a continuance, in which case, if they don't and they want to proceed, you as a commission can always deny an application for being incomplete.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I just have a problem receiving an application that we haven't seen. Usually we see them, so I have a problem with that.
Well, it should be in the
Doesn't make
master.
sense.
It's weird, yeah.
It should be in the master packet too. I just
No, we don't have
we
anything. We
held.
just have to be
It's not in the
stapled.
master packet. Okay, so we just held the site plans back because we're waiting for the zoning analysis table. But as it stands right now, it's just pretty much on the back burner until he goes through ZBA at the end of the month.
Okay.
Can we just table it?
Well, receipt goes
Just
by
receiving
statute.
and act on it at all.
Yeah, we would knock down it anyways.
So this might make you feel a little better about this because it's hard when you have applications that don't have the information for you for receipt. If you find when we
Well,
come.
we should have completed applications to receive, not incomplete
No,
applications.
right, and that happens quite frequently, which is why you have that allowance in your regulations to deny incomplete applications. But what I'm trying to say is when we get a little bit closer to the meeting, if you find down the road on November 3rd that they come before you and you don't have adequate time for review, then you can always push them.
Well, we'll get to the next meeting anyways, shortly. Next is miscellaneous, review of amended bylaws.
I found one spelling error. Is on section 5, it says alternatives, it should be alternates.
Alternates, right.
Where is it?
3-4, section 5.
Section 5. Oh, section in the red. Yeah, alternate, yeah.
Alternate.
Alternates. Good think of the word. Yeah, I read that a
Yeah,
couple
you
times.
too.
Couple times, yeah. Does anybody else have any? Say anything? Guess we're good, so we could vote on them
With the amendment?
with the amendment, the change, yeah, the spelling.
Yeah, I can change it tomorrow or whatever.
Need a motion?
I will make a motion to approve the latest revision of the Town of Enfield Inland Wetland and Watercourse Agency bylaws with the correction on section 5. Instead of saying "and alternatives," it should say "and alternates."
Second.
Kelly seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing none?
Actually, I think there's another
Yep.
correction on page 5.
Page 5?
No, the red is just what changes were made. Yeah. No,
Okay. So it's all set then?
Who seconded that?
Kelly, Okay, roll call?
Donna Corbin Savinsky.
Yes.
Kevin Zorda.
Yes.
Virginia Higley, yes. Kelly Hemler.
Yes.
Dylan Bridge.
Yes.
Ann Collins.
Yeah.
Ken Kaufman.
Yes.
7 in favor, motion passes.
Alternates don't vote?
No. Okay, so next under miscellaneous, Stephen, you were going to give me an update on 92 Post Office?
Yeah, so
I did, before you start.
Alternates may vote on.
Oh,
Bylaw changes.
she made a mistake.
We need to do it
We
again.
need to redo the vote, because alternates are allowed to vote on the bylaw changes.
Okay, just rescind the
Thank you.
motion. No problem.
Good catch.
Okay, reset.
Yeah,
Donna Corbin Savinsky.
yes.
Kevin Zorda.
Yes.
Virginia Higley. Yes. Kelly Hemler.
Yes.
Dylan Bridge.
Yes.
Ann Collins.
Yeah.
Ken Kaufman.
Yes.
Chris Renaud.
Yes.
Robert Higley. Robert Gillespie.
Yes.
Did you say yes?
Been a long day.
Okay, 9 in favor, motion passes. Thank you for that catch. They don't usually vote, so that's why I didn't even think about it.
I didn't see it.
Before you start, Stephen, so I did receive an email on Saturday, September 21st, from Mrs. Menard about this site, that she wanted to reach out. It says, "Hello, Don, I want to reach out to you as a chair of the Wetlands Commission. As you may recall, I have attended several meetings regarding the wetlands approval of 92 Post Office Road. As construction has ramped up on the site, it appears that several wetland violations may have occurred as detailed below, and in comparison with the plans on file here," and she puts a website. "To start, proper erosion control is not installed before starting construction. Silt fencing has since been installed but has not been installed properly per the plans filed with the town, and in some cases, especially on my property line, isn't even installed fully to the ground, and soil can be seen underneath the fence on my side. Number 2, at least 10-plus dump truck loads of fill have been delivered on site since 9/9, but it was stated that a permit application and during meetings that no additional fill would be brought in. Number 3, the area marked as a proposed area of conservation on the west side of the property has been completely cleared today with the cutting down of all trees and the brush that was there previously. While I have not checked to see if any of these changes has since been approved by the commission, I thought it should be brought to the board's attention. Thank you, Michelle Menard." So with that being said,
If I may ask, was that email referring to from September 13th? or
21st.
September 21st? Okay.
yeah. So I did drive by there this afternoon, and the silt fencing is still not right. It's falling down. They still haven't addressed it. I know you've said it's been addressed a couple times, but it's still not right.
So,
There's still issues with the fencing. and the
so if I may,
erosion
I will run through a timeline of all the violations that's coming from 92 Post and the actions we have taken since then. So on August 20th, we received a complaint about the failing silt fencing. We had gone out and checked out the property on the same day and found the failing silt fencing. We notified the applicant to address the issue before continuing, and that was resolved at the time. September 13th, we received another complaint about the use of infill. And we had visited the property the following day, and since there was no condition about infill on the permit, we could not cite that as a violation, but we did ask the applicant to address the erosion and sediment controls again from our second visit. On September 23rd, there was a complaint filed from a neighboring property that the erosion and sediment controls were failing, infill was continued to be brought onto the site, and that the conservation easement area had been cleared. When we had visited the site, there was no violations of the erosion and sediment controls at that time, and there was no violation of the proposed conservation easement area. And again, since there was no condition of infill on the permit, that was something that we would not be able to enforce.
I have to differ with you on that. On our applications and our permits, they are not allowed to excavate or bring in soil without permission. So bringing in 10 truckloads of soil without our permission is wrong. And we did discuss it many times in the meeting, It was asked, I know Kevin asked it, and I think somebody else did, that they were not going to bring in soil. And they said they would not be bringing in soil. So as far as I'm concerned, it's a violation. And the silt fencing is still down, and it still doesn't appear to have been fixed at all, so.
The applicant did, he was having a hard time with the silt fencing. So he installed those silt socks, those little hay barrels around the silt fencing, and for now,
It's
those
still
seem to be
down.
working.
There's still areas where it's,
Well, we sent
isn't
him an email again about that the other week ago. Probably on Friday, we sent him that email. He said he was going to go out to site and take a look and fix it. But he had also brought in, because we had this conversation before, because he was tired of having to replace his silt fencing. He brought in additional silt fencing back up for the contractors to install as needed. Granted, I'm not sure if the contractors have been doing that like they're supposed to, but we've been trying our best to keep an eye on the ENS.
yeah, yep, they haven't.
So we can explore further with the silt fencing. It's difficult with the silt fencing when they install additional ENS controls that the commission didn't necessarily talk about. So we've been working with Rick on that, because when Rick writes violations, we have to cite a section of the regulations and then how it's a violation of the permit. And then Stephen did one more event on October 3rd.
Yep, and then last night, October 3rd, we had received another complaint about the erosion sediment controls that were failing. I went out into site later that day, and I did find that the controls were failing, and I notified the applicant to address the issue again, which that's where Georgie had brought up the statement that instead of the silt fencing, they had used straw wattle for the time being while waiting for that silt fencing.
One of the things with this application that it's hard for us to do some of the fill enforcement because we don't have any information about that fill. We're still waiting on some responses from the applicant. The other thing is we had questions about the limit of disturbance and the conservation easement. Some of the lines on the ground doesn't seem to match up with the site plan. So when I was talking with Rick about what we should do for enforcement rise, he advised that it's best to wait for the final as-built, because then that final as-built will give us the accuracy that we need to really enforce the limit of disturbance and what's happened in regards to the conservation easement.
No. Once you disturb wetlands, you disturb wetlands. So, and I know Ann will remember her conversation with these people, that the house, the right side of the house was 78 feet from the property line on the right. He agreed to not go from past 20 feet from the house.
Yeah.
The rest of it was going to stay as is. He was not going to disturb it. There was going to be no, the vegetation, everything was not going to be removed. Nothing was going to be gone.
Yeah, he specifically said he wasn't going to disturb that.
And he filled it all in with dirt.
Yeah.
So
we'll have a
he's in
discussion.
violation.
No problem. We'll have a discussion with Rick tomorrow in the office about all this.
I mean, I think we could take a vote and take it to the town attorney and have them review it.
I'm not sure what they are
He should
to
be
review.
stopping doing this.
Yeah.
He should,
It's going to be too late.
it's gonna be too late. It's too late.
So you can do that, but town
Yes, we
attorney
can.
is just going to give it back to Rick. And it's going to end up in square one again. So the other issue that we were having is that this area has been outside the upland review area. I know what he said at the meeting and what he stated, but from what I've been taught here in Enfield, working with your regulations and whatnot, is that if it's not specifically listed on the permit,
That's not true.
then we can't enforce it. But like I said, we can discuss with Rick more thoroughly tomorrow. I can have him, watch the meeting and catch up, and then we can
Have 20
get back to you on the
million
next meeting about what to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Or we could take a vote and send it to the town attorney.
Yeah.
Cease and desist.
It'll help us in the future,
Help
too.
us in the future as well.
Yeah.
It's up to you guys.
Okay. I move that we send it to the town attorney.
Second.
So Ginny, Kelly, any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call?
Donna Corbin Savinsky.
Yes.
Kevin Zorda.
Yes.
Virginia Higley, yes. Kelly Henlon.
Yes.
Dylan Bridge.
Yes.
Ann Collins. Yes. Ken Kaufman.
Yes.
7 in favor, motion passes. So we'll send a note to the town attorney to review this.
And I think because of the surrounding issues from the historical part of it, I think we have to be very careful.
No,
there.
that's totally understandable. It makes it easier for us when there is better like clarification. It's just this one has been kind of difficult to enforce. We keep going back and forth on everything, and it's not like a set, clear path. So
Yeah.
fortunately, the applicant has been forthcoming and rectifying whatever complaints he's been getting, but it's difficult when we have silt fencing and he's close to finishing his house, so.
He hasn't touched that silt fence.
Can we request that he come in? I mean, we request, he doesn't have to, right?
Well, that's the
Yeah.
other thing is that,
That's once we get
Yeah,
what we can do.
yeah.
yeah, so I'm not sure where it will go besides back to our hands for any enforcement action, but
Okay.
May I ask who was that second the motion?
Kelly.
Oh, it was Kelly.
Kelly.
All right, thank you.
Next couple things. So every now and then I hear that Agawam or Chicopee or somebody dumps stuff into the Connecticut River. Does Enfield get notified when this
The
happens?
Connecticut River is strictly deep jurisdiction, so we don't
Do we
get
ever get
notified.
notified? Like,
No.
tell our people to stay out of the water?
The
or-
only notification we would get would be if Deep were to issue a warning.
Yeah. It's interesting.
I think that issue has come up in the past.
Yeah, it just seems like every
Yeah.
time I hear it, it's like, were we told we're not, people shouldn't be going in the water or near the water or whatever? Yeah, okay, thank you. I wanted to thank Stephen, when we canceled our last meeting, you added that new application to be received. And I thought that was a nice idea because it was on the website. You know, marked as canceled, it was there, so if anybody could see it and know it was there, that we'd be talking about, so that was a good spot to put it.
Thank you.
I don't know where else we'd put it, but it was a good spot. I thought it was good when I saw it on there, so that's good, thank you.
Next meeting.
Yeah, our next meeting is Election Day, November 5th. And I believe there's going to be people not here. So do we want to, so do we want to schedule, do you think we're going to have something coming up?
The only thing right now is 27 Booth, which I don't see an issue with just canceling the meeting and going forward to the 19th. Gives them more time to do their site plan.
That's what yeah, I didn't know if we wanted to cancel or do
I
a
believe
special meeting later in the week.
last
If there was going
year-
to be stuff that we.
Right.
It's a presidential election.
Right.
Yeah, so-
Last year was different because
Yeah.
we were able to hold the meeting and still do elections, but this year it's a little bit more of an
Yeah, it's gonna be
intense vote.
complicated, yeah.
So it could be best to just cancel.
Cancel it?
Yeah, we have a lot of meetings going on this fall, so I'm not exactly sure what opening their other rooms may have for a special meeting.
Okay, that sounds good. So we will, do we need to vote on that, or?
No,
No.
just cancel.
I can cancel any meeting I want, I guess. I'm going to cancel it. So we will cancel the 11/5 meeting, and our next meeting will be, I just saw that, the 19th. Yeah. One more question. So on our website, you know, you go on Inland Wetlands website, it had all our previous meetings and the packets and everything else, and they're not there anymore.
I do not know. I think when we transferred over to Civic Clerk, everything from the website transferred over to the clerk.
Okay, everything but the packets.
and
and all the notice of
I
actions
can't
and all
speak
that.
for that. I don't do that part, but I can ask.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I was looking at them previously on our site, the ones that had,
Yeah, there's a lot of changes happening. Like we
Yeah.
have a new website too, so there's been a lot of office policies changing as well as to what put on
Yeah.
to keep on the website and what to keep off. So the understanding has been to use Civic Clerk for everything going forward.
yeah, no, it makes sense, but I'm hoping that
Old stuff can
the
be
old stuff
found.
is going to be found and pushed over,
It's archived somewhere.
because it's not there
Okay, I
on
can
either
ask.
one, so that'll be great, thanks. I guess that's it. That's all I had. Anybody else? Ken?
I just got one quick question. The all aboard that we're gonna be going to.
Oh, yeah.
And we just got done commenting on the problems with dumping into the Connecticut River. Waterfront is one of the topics, correct? Would that be the time to ask, why can't we get notification when there's a problem?
Unfortunately, because that is a completely different topic. These are planners from out of state. these aren't planners who are familiar with CT River jurisdiction and whatnot. That comes from the State Department of Energy and Environmental Protection. You'd have to reach out to them. They're typically pretty good at notifying us of the Scantic River, like if there's E. coli or anything like that, but I have not seen any notifications of the river.
This happens up north.
Right. We tend to get like the health department, like the warning notifications, but we don't get like dumping notifications from what I've seen.
Because they put like lots
Stuff. Yeah.
lots of stuff.
I can let you know that they do go out for enforcement. So they've been like that one violation you received for 83 First Ave. They went out there immediately. So, which I don't have an update for. So don't ask me.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
No problem.
Adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Second. I mean, somebody else?
Second.
Kelly? All in favor? Aye. And it's 7:55. Meeting's adjourned.